Chinese communist harassment in Texas. It's November 18th, 2024, and these are your headlines. Today, Governor Greg Abbott announced a new executive order aimed at countering what he describes as harassment campaigns by the Chinese Communist Party against Texans. The order focuses on China's Operation Fox Hunt, which is part of a broader CCP effort to forcibly repatriate Chinese dissidents living abroad back to the People's Republic of China. The order states the PRC forces targeted dissidents to return in several ways, including threatening dissidents' families still residing in China, using PRC assets to target dissidents abroad in their host countries, and kidnapping and smuggling dissidents back into the PRC. According to Safeguard Defenders, a human rights nonprofit, as of 2022, the PRC has established at least 102 illicit overseas police service stations worldwide, including some in the United States. These stations reportedly engage in unlawful campaigns of threats, harassment, and harm against U.S. citizens and lawful residents of Chinese origin. At least 6 of these so-called police service stations are believed to still exist in the U.S., including one in Houston. The order tasks the Texas Department of Public Safety with a series of actions to address the issue, including identifying and prosecuting offenders, collaborating with law enforcement, documenting and reporting threats, and improving reporting systems. The executive order marks Texas's latest step in addressing foreign influence and protecting residents from international coercion. Proposed legislation authored by State Representative Ben Baumgartner would require the federal government to pay Texas for educating illegal aliens, removing the burden from taxpayers. House Bill 371 amends the Educational Code to require that students who are not U.S. citizens or lawfully present aliens can only attend a government-run school if the federal government pays for their education. These students would also only be eligible for benefits from the Foundation School Program, which is Texas's primary means of funding public schools, under those same stipulations. The measure necessitates that schools track expenses accrued from illegal aliens' education to be submitted to the Public Education Information Management System, which will then reimburse the districts. Additionally, the measure requires documentation of a student's U.S. citizenship status at enrollment. The Texas legislature had passed a revision to the Education Code to allow school districts to exclude illegal aliens from enrolling in public schools all the way back in 1972. However, the U.S. Supreme Court later ruled that revision to the school code violated the 14th Amendment.
America is at a crossroads. Now, more than ever, Texas must step up and lead the country. We don't have time to mess around. The only way to save America is with a strong Texas. You and I know this, but so do the enemies of life and liberty. Therefore, you and I have no choice but to stand up and fight. I'm Sarah Gonzalez, and to the enemies of liberty, I say, come and take it.
Former Governor Rick Perry, who is now a spokesman for Speaker Dade Phelan, said in an interview last week that Democrats will continue to hold chairmanships in the Texas House. Now, when Rick Perry entered the Texas House in 1985, he was a Democrat. Democrats held the majority in the chamber. He didn't switch to the Republican Party until he ran for statewide office. And as the Democrats have moved further to the left, the practice of awarding them committee chairmanships has come under scrutiny by Republican activists in recent years because of conservative priorities being stymied by House leadership. In exchange for their support in 2020 and 2022, Speaker Phelan allowed Democrats to thwart Republican priorities on issues ranging from election security to education reform and tax relief. When Democrats fled the state to block consideration of election integrity legislation, Speaker Phelan didn't remove their chairmanships. On the Republican primary ballot in 2022, more than 1.8 million Texans voted on the question of ending the practice of giving Democrats leadership positions. That passed with more than 80% support. Now, the issue is a priority for the Republican Party of Texas's 2025 legislative agenda. Earlier this year, 46 Republicans in the Texas House signed a letter saying that they would only vote for a candidate for Speaker pursuant to the platform and caucus bylaws who will only appoint Republicans as committee chairs. And that's major. Since then, 48 Republicans incoming into the Texas House have endorsed David Cook, a representative from Manfield, to replace Dade Phelan. Sources in the Capitol, by the way, have also said that Rick Perry received a 7-figure payout to support Phelan's reelection as part of a bid to bring casino gambling to Texas. For more of today's stories, go to texasscorecard.com.